Hello, Emmanuel Baptist Church. For the past few years, we have been going in and out of the Gospel of Mark for our sermon series, and we jumped back into it just a couple of weeks ago with the goal of finishing out the entire Gospel here around Easter time. And with this current sermon series that we are doing, I've had a few questions about a graphic that I put on my overhead slides, wondering what it is, what it means, and all that sort of thing. And so I wanted to take just a couple of minutes to explain to you what the graphic or the symbol represents for us as Christians and how it can really enrich our lives in Christ. So if you've been looking at all, you will see a symbol on the slides that looks like this. You can see that there is what looks like a letter P, and the arm of that P is in the middle of what looks like an X, and then on the sides we have an A and we have a W. And so what you're looking at here is something called a Chi-Rho. In fact, I'm going to minimize myself here so that you can get a better view of what this is. And this is an ancient symbol that is an acronym for Christ. Okay, so let's take a look at that English word Christ. We all know the C-H-R-I-S-T. That's, it's not Jesus' last name, but it is the title of who he is, the Messiah, the Christ. And in the Greek, it actually looks like this. It's the word Christos. And you can see the first two letters there, the chi and the rho, and then you can see the rest of that. Those are the familiar letters that we see in the Chi-Rho. You see the X, and then you see what looks like a P, but in Greek it's not a P. It's actually an R sound, and that's one of the confusing things about Greek, but once you get into it, it's easy to remember. So we have the X, which is the letter chi or chai, depending on how you say it, and the next to it, the letter rho, which has an R sound for us in English. And so when we look at that alone, again, here is the word Christos. And then when we break it down, we see that the X and the chi and the rho, even I need to remind myself sometimes, are the first two letters of Christ. And in church history, this was how the early church shorthanded. They didn't shorthand Jesus, you know what I mean? Like when they were writing, it's shorthand, okay? So chi and rho. It's also symbolism so that as they were getting persecuted, it wasn't. It was something that they were able to hide and to sort of use as a symbol for a while. So we have the Chi-Rho there, and so then with that now you can see that the chi is the X there, and you can see the rho being represented in what we look at as a P, but again, it's an R sound in Greek. I know it's confusing, but it is the letter rho, and so you can see how those two go together. And so then the next question is, what in the world is this A and this W? Well, it's not an A and it's not a W. What it actually is the A is the first letter in the Greek alphabet, which is the word alpha. And so we have the alpha on the left, and so if you know anything about the book of Revelation, you know where the next one is going. That is not a W in Greek. That is actually what is called an omega. It is the last letter in the Greek alphabet. And so we have the alpha and the omega, Jesus Christ, the first and the last. We have the rho and the chi-rho symbol of being the symbol for who Jesus is, and we have the letters to describe who he is. He's the first and the last. And as we look at this last slide here, we can see that there is a circle there. That circle is just for fun. There's nothing special to it, but hopefully that clears up any confusion, any questions that you might have. The Chi-Rho is an excellent tradition that the church has used for centuries, and that's why I am proud to put that on our slides during the sermon time, because it is representing the object of our faith, Jesus Christ, who is the Chi, the Rho, the Alpha, and the Omega.